So do mechs wear shoes? That's the curious lore question for today. And in doing a little research and looking through some of the tech manuals and exploring some of the images where a mech is in motion and maybe you get a glimpse of the footwear or the foot structure, what do you guys think? Because I'm seeing some conflicting pictures. Now, most of the pictures that I see, and a couple of the miniatures, physically, the miniatures in my collection that have dynamic poses, mostly the Locust, and I have a copy of a Thunderbolt that's in motion. The foot is actually flat with very, very light treads. So it's not a completely flat foot, but light treads on there. That kind of makes sense. You want a little bit of traction, but do we want something? Because, I mean, certainly someone can run the calculation. The massive tonnage of a mech, if that tonnage pushes into the ground, if you're in City Tech, City Fight, or somewhere where the ground is a little bit softer, the very nature of having a flat foot, I think, is going to prevent it from sticking into the mud, or certainly when you twist and turn, tearing up the ground, tearing up the city. Now, do you even care if you're a mech in the city? Probably not. But when the mechs go back to the repair bays, that's the question I ask. Or if you have a mech facility, maybe the ground is hardened, or perhaps there's accountability for that, or it's brought in on a flatbed, but just marching in and out of the repair facility, I certainly don't want to tear it up. Flat foot, some slight treads, makes sense. But then there's a picture in the previous Catalyst Game of Armored Combat set. There's two versions of it. The most recent out-of-print version has an awesome picture of an Atlas on there, just sparks and fire dripping everywhere, battle damage, and it's just moving through a city, very dynamic. The box set before that, the components were the same, but the art, it's interesting. It's not bad. It's a re-seen Warhammer, which, in my opinion, just doesn't do the awesomeness of the Warhammer. But this re-seen Warhammer walking, its foot is up in the air, trying to recreate the classic Warhammer pose. And what you see is the tread of the foot extends, and it's almost like a work boot. And I'm just thinking, if you've got treads that extend down into the ground, 5, 6, 10 feet. Just how is that going to affect balance? How is that going to affect terrain? Maybe it's too much with that. And then, of course, asking the question, maybe the longbow or the yeoman, where it's massive amounts of missiles. If there's massive recoil or massive guns, do you need some treads to kind of hold you into the ground? I know as a Battletech enthusiast, especially with the 80s future tech, we kind of have to suspend physics and suspend disbelief. But your opinion on that, the footwear of mechs, and to further complicate it, there's a lot of pieces that get upgraded and moved. Is there the possibility that it gets changed based on the terrain? I really, really don't know 100%.